my name is Oliver Davis, and today I will be talking about Shinji Iwai's 2001 film, All About Lily Chou-Chou. Before we can really dissect the film's content, we must take a look at its historical context. Japan 1991. This was the beginning of the country's biggest economic crisis. The crisis went on for a whole decade. This decade was referred to the Lost Decades. The Lost Decade faced many economic challenges, such as the collapse of the asset price bubble in the late 1980s and demographic shifts, such as an aging population and declining birth rate. Following the economic collapse of 1991, there was a huge increase in teenage criminal activities, as well as teenage suicide. Being a teenager back then was not easy, especially when the job market now, because of this economic crisis, was not so good. Another big thing that made it tough to be a teenager in the 1990s was social conformity. With all that in mind, Shinji Iwai creates a visually stunning film depicting a cruel world for our main characters, who are teenagers. All About Lily Chou-Chou is about two troubled teenagers, Yuichi Hasumi and Shusuke Hoshino. The two experience a complex relationship with each other as well as life in general. They both find comfort in a indie pop artist named Lily Chou-Chou, who they see as escape from all their troubles. These troubles being bullying, violence, rape, betrayal. Shinji Iwai begins the film with beautiful scenery. The movie feels almost like a collection of memories. It feels nostalgic. It feels like we're being brought back. It feels like we are young, youthful, like we're teenagers. He does this by filming nearly the entirety of the film handheld. He keeps a dreamlike glow throughout the movie. He portrays inviting colors like very saturated greens, which can immediately contradict itself and have the green look sinister when at scarier times, I should say. Shiori. Shiori is a semi-main character who is a lot like our two main characters. She too is a troubled teenager. At some point in the story, one of our main characters, Hoshino, becomes kind of our villain. And he manages to network all his friends around him and get them to do things. Two of those people being Yuichi and Shiori. Hoshino has incriminating photos of Shiori, and he uses that against her and makes her meet with older men so that she can get paid. And Hoshino gets most of the cut, whereas she only gets a small percentage. While all this happens, Yuichi has to pretty much follow Shiori and see whether she gets the job done or not. Later, while following Shiori back home, Shiori offers Yuichi a cut from her cut, and Yuichi accepts it. And this gets Shiori really mad, and she begins to physically abuse him. I've chose this scene to dissect and look at because I think it's a perfect scene to watch that encompasses almost everything that Iwai is trying to talk about while making this movie and showing. Let's take a look at it. Just realized Shiori girl, that's her last name. My bad. Her first name is Tsuda. So, sorry for referring to you as the wrong name, Tsuda. Anyways, let's watch the scene. Wait, actually before this part of the movie is now called the Age of Grey because it is now this is post stuff that happened with her characters. Things aren't so bright and happy anymore, including the coloring already. If we look at the scene right now, everything is gray and darker. So, yeah. Again, shaky camera to make us viewers feel immersed.
あんたたかられてんだって星野たちにさ。あげるよ。
Yeah, so you're probably like, why'd she do that? She offered the money. Well, considering when this film was made, money was a huge thing in Japan. Also, this scene is so foggy, and I think that kind of also represents like this whole scene in general. It's kind of like confusing to watch in a way, yeah, even as it keeps going. But again, like him accepting it not so happily, I don't know, like he looks sad the entire time. I think she feels betrayed in a way, like, you know what I had to do to get this money, so even you're so careless, you're just out for money. I hate you. Well, not I hate you, but why? Anyways, let's keep watching.
広い。
He's just taking it, which makes sense. This character, Yuichi, is really an observer, and he does not speak up. He's very quiet. Tsura, I think this is kind of her one moment in control, so far at least. Right now, she's being manipulated into getting money for someone else. She's being ordered around. Even the men she sees, like, she's not choosing if she can get hugged. She is just being hugged by random creeps. She's not choosing how much money goes to who, whatever. And now she sees someone as vulnerable as her, and she's taking the opportunity to go at him. And that a lot of teenagers, I think, not can relate to that, but I think that's where, like, I guess bullying stems from, which is a huge topic in this movie. It's a really awkward scene. Like, what am I looking at, you know? She stops hitting him and starts digging the money in the ground, like rubbing it into the dirt. Like, money is actually, it started a lot. Had they had no money, they wouldn't have gone on their trip, which means they wouldn't have had near-death experiences, which means Hoshino would have never been evil. Money wouldn't have been a thing Tsura needed to get, which means she wouldn't have had to experience those weird-ass situation with those men. Before, she was taking her anger out on Yuichi. Now she's taking her anger out on money. Again, wide, foggy shot because the scene itself is just so foggy. It's like, what is going on? Now she's running. Goes into the river. That was a slow motion shot, which then repeated itself to emphasize something. Emphasize her going into the water. What does water usually represent? Rebirth, like baptism in Christianity or religion. She's so sad. Oh, it's hard to watch. And then this wide shot again. Looking at this, we have our beautiful green field again. It's almost like the only colorful, really, really colorful thing that represents what Lily Chou-Chou is to these characters. Escape for our characters, away from all their troubles, putting the money, digging it close to the fields. We forget about money. And like, again, her going into the field and then drenching herself in water, like washing away your sorrows, washing away your problems. That's what I see here. Regardless if the river is absolutely disgusting and super dirty, I think, yeah, that's what's going on. All About Lily Chou-Chou is a really wonderful movie. It's a really good movie. The characters are all so complex. They have so much depth to them. The amount of symbolism in this movie is really good. You have to pay attention throughout the whole thing. And if you might think like this is such a artsy type of film, like nothing's happening, but that's not true. So much happens. I really love this movie. I really do. Not that it matters, but I give it a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. That was my little analysis on All About Lily Chou-Chou. I hope you enjoyed it, and listen to the fictional artist Lily Chou-Chou's music, because it's really good. I enjoyed it throughout the whole movie and throughout editing this video. I really did. Have a good night or day.